Even with eyes protected by the green spectacles, Dorothy and her friends were at first dazzled by the brilliancy of the wonderful city. The streets were lined with beautiful houses, all built of green marble and studded everywhere with sparkling emeralds. They walked over a pavement of the same green marble, and where the blocks were joined together were rows of emeralds, set closely and glittering in the brightness of the sun. The window panes were of green glass. Even the sky above the city had a green tint, and the rays of the sun were green. There were many people, men, women, and children, walking about, and these were all dressed in green clothes and had greenish skins. They looked at Dorothy and her strangely assorted company with wondering eyes, and the children all ran away and hid behind their mothers when they saw the lion, but no one spoke to them. Many shops stood in the street, and Dorothy saw that everything in them was green. Green candy and green popcorn were offered for sale, as well as green shoes, green hats, and green clothes of all sorts. At one place a man was selling green lemonade, and when the children bought it, Dorothy could see that they paid for it with green pennies. There seemed to be no horses nor animals of any kind. The men carried things around in little green carts which they pushed before them. The guardian of the gates led them through the bustling streets until they arrived at a grand building, the Palace of Oz, located in the center of the city. A soldier was stationed before the door, adorned in a green uniform and sporting a long green beard. The guardian of the gate said to the soldier, "Here are strangers who wish to see the great Oz." The soldier replied, "Step inside and I will deliver your message." They entered through the palace gates into a large, elegantly decorated room featuring a green carpet and exquisite green furniture adorned with emeralds. The soldier asked them to wipe their feet on a green mat before entering and instructed, "Please make yourselves comfortable while I inform Oz of your presence." They waited for a considerable time before the soldier returned. Upon his return, Dorothy inquired, "Have you seen Oz?" The soldier replied, "No, I have not seen him, but I conveyed your message to him as he sat behind his screen." The soldier conveyed, "He will grant you an audience if you wish, but each of you must enter his presence one at a time, as he will only see one person each day." Upon arriving at the palace, Dorothy is greeted with kindness. A soldier signals a young girl in a green silk gown, who enters and says, "Follow me, and I will show you your room." Dorothy bids farewell to her friends, except for her dog Toto, and follows the green girl through the palace's corridors. Dorothy finds her new room to be enchanting. It features a soft bed with green silk sheets and a plush green velvet counterpane. At the center, a tiny fountain sprays a refreshing green perfume into the air, filling the room with a sweet scent. The windows are adorned with beautiful green flowers, and a shelf holds a collection of small green books. Curious, Dorothy opens the little green books and finds them filled with amusing pictures that bring her joy and laughter. In a wardrobe, Dorothy discovers an array of stunning green dresses made of silk, satin, and velvet. To her delight, each dress fits her perfectly. "Make yourself perfectly at home," the green girl says warmly. "If you need anything, just ring the bell and Oz will send for you tomorrow morning." After this, she leaves Dorothy alone in her room. The green girl also leads Dorothy's friends to their own accommodations, ensuring that each one finds a pleasant room within the palace. Of course, this politeness was wasted on the Scarecrow, for when he found himself alone in his room, he stood stupidly in one spot, just within the doorway, to wait till morning. The Tin Woodman lay down on his bed from force of habit, for he remembered when he was made of flesh, but not being able to sleep, he passed the night moving his joints up and down to make sure they kept in good working order. The Cowardly Lion would have preferred a bed of dried leaves in the forest, and did not like being shut up in a room, but he had too much sense to let this worry him, so he sprang upon the bed and rolled himself up like a cat and purred himself asleep in a minute. The next morning, after breakfast, the Green Maiden came to fetch Dorothy, and she dressed her in one of the prettiest gowns, made of green brocaded satin. Dorothy put on a green silk apron and tied a green ribbon around Toto's neck, and they started for the throne room of the great Oz. First they came to a great hall in which were many ladies and gentlemen of the court, all dressed in rich costumes. As Dorothy entered, the court members looked at her with curiosity. One of them whispered, "Are you really going to look upon the face of Oz the Terrible?" Dorothy replied, "Of course, if he will see me." The soldier who delivered her message added, "Oh, he will see you, although he does not like to have people ask to see him." The green girl said to Dorothy, "You must go into the throne room alone." With that she opened a little door, and Dorothy walked boldly through. Dorothy found herself in a magnificent round room with a high arched ceiling. The walls, ceiling, and floor sparkled as they were covered with large emeralds set closely together. In the center of the ceiling was a brilliant light as bright as the sun. It made the emeralds sparkle in a magical manner. In the middle of the room, Dorothy's attention was captured by an enormous throne made of green marble, which was embellished with sparkling gems. At the center of the throne was a gigantic head with no body, arms, or legs to support it. It had no hair but possessed large eyes, a nose, and a mouth, dwarfing even the largest of giants. As Dorothy gazed upon this in wonder and fear, the eyes turned slowly and looked at her sharply and steadily. Then the mouth moved, and Dorothy heard a voice say, "I am Oz, the great and terrible." It was not such an awful voice as she had expected to come from the big head. So she took courage and answered, "I am Dorothy, the small and meek. I have come to you for help." Then the voice of Oz asked, "Where did you get the silver shoes?" Dorothy replied, "I got them from the Wicked Witch of the East when my house fell on her and killed her." The voice continued, "Where did you get the mark upon your forehead?" Dorothy said, "That is where the Good Witch of the North kissed me when she bade me goodbye and sent me to you." The eyes of Oz looked at her sharply, and they saw she was telling the truth. Then Oz asked, "What do you wish me to do?" Dorothy answered earnestly, "Send me back to Kansas, where my Aunt Em and Uncle Henry are." Dorothy says, "I don't like your country, although it is so beautiful." She feels torn between the beauty of Oz and her concern for her family back home. Oz inquires, "Why should I do this for you?" He is curious about Dorothy's intentions. Dorothy replies, "Because you are strong and I am weak, because you are a great wizard and I am only a little girl." Oz counters, "But you were strong enough to kill the Wicked Witch of the East." Oz states firmly, "You have no right to expect me to send you back to Kansas unless you do something for me in return." Oz explains, "In this country, everyone must pay for everything he gets." This introduces the idea that nothing is free. He declares, "If you wish me to use my magic power to send you home again, you must do something for me first." Dorothy asks earnestly, "What must I do?" indicating her readiness to take on a challenge. In the grand throne room, Oz reveals to Dorothy, "Kill the Wicked Witch of the West." He continues, "You killed the Witch of the East, and you wear the silver shoes which bear a powerful charm. There is now but one wicked witch left in all this land. When you can tell me she is dead, I will send you back to Kansas, but not before." Dorothy, taken aback, exclaimed, "But I cannot." Tears began to roll down her cheeks as disappointment washed over her. The great Oz watched her anxiously, as if he believed she could help him. "I never killed anything, willingly," she sobbed. With a mixture of confusion and desperation, Dorothy questioned, "Even if I wanted to, how could I kill the Wicked Witch? If you, who are great and terrible, cannot kill her yourself, how do you expect me to do it?" Oz, with a serious tone, reminded her, "Remember that the witch is wicked, tremendously wicked, and ought to be killed. Now go, and do not ask to see me again until you have done your task." Heart heavy with sorrow, Dorothy exited the throne room. She made her way back to her friends, the Lion, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman, who were eagerly awaiting to hear what Oz had said. "There is no hope for me," she said sadly, "for Oz will not send me home until I have killed the Wicked Witch of the West, and that I can never do." Her friends were sorry, but could do nothing to help her, so Dorothy went to her own room and lay down on the bed and cried herself to sleep. The next morning, a soldier with green whiskers approached the Scarecrow and said, "Come with me, for Oz has sent for you." The Scarecrow followed him into the grand throne room, where he was greeted by a lovely lady sitting on an emerald throne. The lady wore a gown of green silk gauze and adorned her flowing green hair with a crown of jewels, radiating beauty. From her shoulders sprouted stunning wings, vibrant in color, which fluttered lightly with even the gentlest breeze. After bowing as gracefully as his straw stuffing allowed, the Scarecrow was taken aback when the lady said, "I am Oz, the great and terrible. Who are you, and why do you seek me?" Surprised by her appearance, the Scarecrow bravely responded, "I am only a scarecrow, filled with straw without brains. I come to you seeking to have brains put in my head instead of straw, so that I may be as much a man as anyone else in your realm." "Why should I do this for you?" the lady asked. The Scarecrow replied, "Because you are wise and powerful, and no one else can assist me." Oz replied, "I never grant favors without some return, but I will promise you this much." The wizard tells the Scarecrow, "If you will kill for me the Wicked Witch of the West, I will bestow upon you a great many brains, and such good brains that you will be the wisest man in all the land of Oz." The Scarecrow is surprised to hear that Dorothy had been asked to kill the witch. The wizard states, "I don't care who kills her, but until she is dead, I will not grant your wish." He then tells the Scarecrow to leave and not return until he has earned his desired brains. The Scarecrow returns to his friends and informs them of the wizard's demands. Dorothy is shocked to learn that the great wizard is not just a head, as she had thought, but a lovely lady. The following morning, a soldier with green whiskers approaches the Tin Woodman and says, "Oz has sent for you." The Tin Woodman follows the soldier into the grand throne room, uncertain whether he will see a lovely lady or just a head. He hopes that, if it is the lady, he can ask for a heart. When the Tin Woodman enters the throne room, he is taken aback to see that neither the head nor the lady is present. Instead, Oz has transformed into a fearsome beast. The beast looms large, nearly as big as an elephant, and the green throne creaks under its immense weight. Its head resembles that of a rhinoceros, but with an unsettling twist. It has 5 piercing eyes. From its body sprout 5 long arms and 5 slender legs, all covered in thick woolly hair, creating an image of a truly dreadful monster. The Tin Woodman stands before the beast, feeling fortunate that he has no heart, for it would have raced with terror. Instead, made of tin, he feels no fear, though he is undeniably disappointed by the fearsome creature before him. With a booming voice that echoes like a great roar, the beast declares, "I am Oz, the great and terrible." It then demands to know who dares to seek it and why. The Tin Woodman explains, "I am a woodman, crafted from tin. As such, I lack a heart and the ability to love. I beseech you to grant me a heart so I may be like other men." The beast looks down at the Tin Woodman, intrigued yet skeptical, and asks, "Why should I grant you this request?" "Because I ask it, and you alone can grant my request," answered the woodman. Oz gave a low growl at this, but said gruffly, "If you indeed desire a heart, you must earn it." "Help Dorothy to kill the Wicked Witch of the West," replied the beast. "When the witch is dead, come to me, and I will then give you the biggest and kindest and most loving heart in all the land of Oz." They all wondered greatly at the many forms the great wizard could take upon himself, and the lion said, "If he is a beast, when I go to see him I shall roar my loudest, and so frighten him that he will grant all I ask. And if he is the lovely lady, I shall pretend to spring upon her, and so compel her to do my bidding. And if he is the great head, he will be at my mercy, for I will roll this head all about the room until he promises to give us what we desire." The next morning the soldier with the green whiskers led the lion to the great throne room and bade him enter the presence of Oz. The lion at once passed through the door, and glancing around saw to his surprise that before the throne was a ball of fire, so fierce and glowing he could scarcely bear to gaze upon it. His first thought was that Oz had by accident caught on fire and was burning up, but when he tried to go nearer, the heat was so intense that it singed his whiskers, and he crept back tremblingly to a spot nearer the door. Then a low, quiet voice came from the ball of fire, and these were the words it spoke, "I am Oz, the great and terrible." When Oz asked the lion who he was and why he sought him, the lion replied, "I am a cowardly lion, afraid of everything." The lion continued, "I came to you to beg that you give me courage, so that in reality I may become the king of beasts, as men call me." Oz responded, "Why should I give you courage?" The lion explained, "Because of all wizards you are the greatest, and alone have power to grant my request." Oz declared, "Bring me proof that the wicked witch is dead, and that moment I will give you courage." "But as long as the witch lives, you must remain a coward," Oz added. Angry and defeated, the lion could say nothing in reply, and as he stood silently gazing at the ball of fire, it became so hot that he turned and rushed out of the room. The lion was relieved to find his friends waiting for him, and he told them about his difficult interview with the wizard. Worried, Dorothy asked, "What shall we do now?" The lion replied, "There is only one thing we can do, and that is to go to the land of the Winkies, seek out the wicked witch, and destroy her." Dorothy voiced her fear, saying, "But suppose we cannot?" The lion stood tall and said, "We will face her together, and together we shall succeed." The lion declared, "Then I shall never have courage." The Scarecrow added, "And I shall never have brains." The Tin Woodman spoke, "And I shall never have a heart." Dorothy, feeling overwhelmed, began to cry, saying, "And I shall never see Aunt Em and Uncle Henry." Dorothy expressed her reluctance. "I suppose we must try it, but I am sure I do not want to kill anybody, even to see Aunt Em again." The lion admitted, "I will go with you, but I'm too much of a coward to kill the witch." The Scarecrow chimed in, "I will go too, but I shall not be of much help to you. I am such a fool." The Tin Woodman remarked, "I haven't the heart to harm even a witch, but if you go, I certainly shall go with you." They decided to begin their journey the next morning. The Tin Woodman sharpened his axe on a green grindstone and took care to oil all his joints. The Scarecrow stuffed himself with fresh straw to be ready for the journey. Meanwhile, Dorothy applied new paint to his eyes so that he could see better. The kind green girl filled Dorothy's basket with good things to eat. She also fastened a little bell around Toto's neck, tied with a green ribbon. They went to bed early and slept soundly. They were awakened by the crowing of a green cock in the backyard of the palace and the cackling of a hen that had laid a green egg.